Now, we already knew that Marjorie Taylor Greene was out of her mind. She believes in QAnon. She believes that Satanists rape and murder children and drink their blood. We're finding out that she thinks that Hillary Clinton wore a child's face before absorbing its life essence. These are all things that we found out from her social media account. And we're finding out even more that for me, if I were an elected official, would be a little bit concerning. Because in one post, way back in January 2019, Greene liked a comment that said a bullet to the head would be quicker to remove House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. In other posts, Greene liked comments about executing FBI agents who, in her eyes, were part of the deep state working against Trump. Because remember, all of those right wingers who say they support law enforcement and back the blue and Blue Lives Matter and all of that are always ready to murder cops and federal agents when they think it's necessary. The Boogaloo Boys are perfectly happy to kill cops if it gets the cops to overreact and kill some BLM protesters. So here you're seeing the actual posts. Now this is important for you to see it because she of course is going to deny it. But first, there's more. In one post from April 2018, Greene wrote conspiratorially about the Iran deal, one of former Barack Obama's signature foreign policy achievements. A commenter asked Greene, "Now do we get to hang them?" Meaning H&O, referring to Obama and Hillary Clinton. She replied, "Stage is being set, players are being put in place. We must be patient. This must be done perfectly or liberal judges would let them off." Elsewhere on her Facebook page, she liked comments that advocated to arrest Obama and former Secretary of State John Kerry, and one comment that said, "Hang that bitch," referring to either one or both, I don't know. She also liked a comment that urged for Civil War 2.0 to begin. So we're gonna give her response, such as it is, but I wanted to give JR an opportunity to respond to multiple calls for her political opponents to be murdered.
Well, I guess not surprising. I mean, everyone knew this about her. When you knew a QAnoner was running for office, we knew that this is the background of the person. But we're in such an insane political landscape now. It's like it's a significant portion of the Republican Party. So it's a winning strategy. It's a winning message. And they know that. Again, it's why the established members of the Republican Party that aren't just new to Congress like her are backing stuff like this because that's their party now. She is the future of the Republican Party. The old members of the Republican Party are willing to go along with stuff like this, or then publicly say, we'll talk to her about it, or this will be great, or she's just another member of Congress. Yeah, maybe those statements that she said were they were unsavory, but it's okay. They always want to put some lighthearted descriptions to the things that they've done, and then privately tell them, hey, just tone it down publicly. Say all that horrible stuff in private instead. You need to learn how to be a real Republican politician. Say the bad stuff privately and the good stuff publicly, and you'll be just fine. That's the conversation.
I think it might be turning though. I agree. And she has tried to distance herself a little bit from QAnon. And when people say that, they mean she doesn't openly say it anymore. She's never said that it was wrong. All that stuff about pieces being put into place and all of that, that's just QAnon stuff. Because remember, and I apologize if you've heard me say this many times, including the pre-show, get used to it, I'm gonna say it a lot. She believes whatever crazy stuff she reads on the internet. That is it. That's it. Some stupid lying moron puts something about Satan on a forum and she thinks, oh my God, that's what's happening? That's literally how she approaches the world. That is her worldview. Whatever she reads, if it says bad things about people she hates, she believes it. It's convenient. Now, we have already showed you the posts. She did it, but here is what she has to say. Fake news CNN is writing yet another hit piece on me, focused on my time before running for political office. I will never back down to the enemy of the American people, and neither should you. So first of all, if our fear is that you want to murder politicians, you saying I will never back down to the enemy of the American people doesn't really reassure me. That said, I am so done with any criticism being pitched as a hit piece, smears. We've seen that for years now. Pointing out your record, what you've said, what you've done isn't a smear job, it's inconvenient reality. If you didn't want to have those things tied to you, maybe don't like posts calling for your political opponents to be murdered. Maybe don't talk about faces being ripped off and eaten by female politicians. If that's not a thing that you wanted to follow you. Okay, we grew up being told don't post crazy stuff on the internet because you might lose a job. I guess maybe Congress could be one of those that you lose, but probably not. Probably not. So that's
come on. Yeah, that's her statement based off it of people writing something. Again, there's no rejection of what she said. There's no I never said that stuff. They're making it up, fake news. None of that was said because it's all real. So in order for people to overlook that, you have to go incendiary and say, I'm never gonna back down. Back down off of what? Do you still believe in those things, or do you not? Now, you could rehab your image to a degree, at least for the idiots that want to still vote for you. And you could say, yeah, those things I said in the past, I was just this random private citizen and I was mad and I would post and like incendiary things because I was mad. But now I've understood you can easily rehab this for the people who, for some reason, don't think you're that bad of a person, but they're so steeped in their ignorance and hatred for the country, they can't even do that. They can't even do that because there's enough people that are okay with her saying, yeah, you're right. They're the enemy of our people. When I say let's put a bullet in Nancy Pelosi's head, that's great. And I just said that before and they just want to bring up old stuff. That's the explanation. That's the explanation. By the way,
it was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. It wouldn't be okay if it was 20 years ago. It was 2 years ago. You talked about shooting Nancy Pelosi in the head after the third season of Stranger Things, okay? Only after the first. If it's as old as the first season, I'll give it to you. But no.
It wasn't youthful exuberance. It wasn't, it wasn't I was only a teenager and I was just trying to fit in with the high school crowd. None of that, which I don't accept those either. But if you did make a mistake, own up to it and say so. But I'm only saying that because there's no way she's ever gonna do that.
I know, God. There's more, maybe we'll bring it back tomorrow, her stalking of the survivors of mass shootings. Sorry, alleged mass shootings, because remember, she doesn't believe any of those that happened either. Like there is no, I cannot express how insane this woman is. But I'm gonna try.
There's more. There's more.
I'm trying. You know,
when the glasses come off of John's face, it's all over.
Anyway, I think it's just smudged because they're cheap glasses and I've scratched them all up.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.